Gentlemen, I'm honored to be joined with you once again. Today we're going to be talking about the Spanish citizenship, finding out whether Spanish citizenship is a good option or not. The country of Spain is very attractive for many people. They like the good weather, they like the lifestyle, the laid-back Mediterranean way of thinking. And in general, when we look at it, we can see that Spain, the Spanish passport itself, is very attractive. It's a strong European Union passport. But like with everything, there comes with a downside as well. In today's video, we'll be going over the good, the bad, to find out whether Spain is a good option to diversify into or not, whether you want to get a European Union passport, or maybe you're already a citizen of Europe looking to go somewhere a little bit better than your home country. So it must be established that Spain as a country has a really unique citizenship policy here when we talk about any country that used to be a former imperial empire. You know, countries like Russia have a similar thing where they have some sort of de facto open border free movement policy with a lot of their former Central Asian colonies and territories. But Spain takes it a level further, and actually Spanish citizenship is actually much more attractive, is that if you are a citizen of any Latin American country, and yes, that does actually include Brazil, interestingly enough, or Equatorial Guinea, or the Philippines, or maybe you're a US citizen who was born in the territory of Puerto Rico, then you can qualify for Spanish citizenship, because they have a program where if you are from any country that used to be part of the Spanish Empire, so you know, any Latin American country like Argentina, for example, or maybe Chile, you can move to Spain, live there for 2 years only, then you can get Spanish citizenship. Although just be aware that when we say 2 years, we mean 2 years of residency there. So you do the 2 years of residency in Spain. Now, it doesn't mean that on the first day of the third year, you're going to get that passport in hand. After that, you have to apply for the citizenship, hopefully get approved. That's going to take some time as well. So in general, from moving to the country to getting the passport in hand, might be about 3 to 4 years, to be fair. But still, when we compare it to how long other people have to live in the country for, it's significantly shorter, and it is on paper very worth it. For example, if you're a citizen of any other country in the world and you want to qualify for Spanish citizenship, the residency is actually 10 years. It's one of the higher ones in Europe. The neighbour Portugal has only a 5 to 7 year now. Yes, it is going to take longer because Portugal's changing their whole immigration department, but Spain is a country that they do have a pretty high residency requirement for you to be able to qualify for Spanish citizenship there. It's usually around 10 years for most people, unless you are a citizen of Brazil or any former Spanish colonial territory. And yes, that does include Equatorial Guinea as well, and the Philippines. It isn't just in Latin America and the Caribbean. Now, another interesting lane with this is that a lot of people, when they want to diversify their citizenships, they want to get a second passport. One of the most important questions in the world that I often emphasize and have to regurgitate here is dual citizenship. Because dual citizenship, if it isn't allowed, citizenship diversification is obsolete. Now, everyone knows my views on this. I believe that any country that restricts or doesn't allow dual nationality is violating everyone's personal human rights. That is my personal position. And Spain is a country that, in a way, does sort of violate it. They don't fully allow dual citizenship, but they don't fully ban it either, like many other countries around the world. Specifically, some countries in Europe just don't allow dual nationality. Spain is sort of in a state of limbo. They're sort of giving you mixed messages here, where they don't allow dual nationality if you are naturalizing in the country and you are a foreigner from a country that wasn't part of the imperial Spanish Empire. So, for example, if you are naturalizing from a country like a Middle Eastern country, maybe you're from the United Arab Emirates or something, or maybe you're from a poor Middle Eastern country like Syria, you know, you might be a refugee from Syria, and you're living in Spain, living a good life in Spain, and you want to naturalize, get a Spanish passport because you feel you've lived in Spain for long enough, Spain is your new home and everything, you've learned the Spanish language and all of that, you're not going to be allowed to keep your previous citizenship. Now, yes, if you're Syrian, do you want to keep your previous passport? That's up to you to decide. But Spain is a country that does require most foreigners who are not citizens of their former territories, or they don't have a dual citizenship treaty with. That's another thing. If your country has a dual citizenship treaty with Spain, you're good. A lot of countries have that, but not every country does have that. The more niche countries, some European countries have that, but again, not all European countries have that. And naturally, this is just a thing. If you're a natural born Spanish citizen, dual citizenship is fine. You just have to show intention that you do decide to keep it within 3 years of getting the citizenship in another country. So Spain is a country that does sort of make you fight to keep your citizenship or maintain dual citizenship if you are naturalizing in their country. but it certainly isn't impossible to get Spanish dual citizenship. It is very possible. Is it the easiest thing in the world? No. Is it the simplest thing in the world when we compare it to other European countries? Definitely not, but it also isn't impossible. A lot of people online say that, oh, Spanish dual citizenship isn't possible. Really not the case, honestly. It's not the simplest thing in the world, but you can absolutely maintain and get multiple passports as well with Spanish citizenship too. And in fact, a very interesting question that someone asked me once was that, okay, maybe I am from a country like Australia, for example, which I don't believe has a dual citizenship treaty. But I'm also a dual citizen because maybe my parent was from Argentina. So I'm going to do this program via the Argentine passport. Can I also maintain my Australian citizenship? In that case, yes, that is a loophole that you can do if you are a very unique dual citizen where you have a citizenship of a country that Spain doesn't allow dual citizenship with, but you also have a second passport where they do allow dual citizenship with. In that case, it's fine. Another important thing, naturally, when we talk about naturalizing in any foreign country where English is not the native language, are language requirements. Spain is a country that does have language requirements. They do require you to know a little bit of Spanish. Oh no, whoop-de-boop-de-doo. Well, in my eyes, that's a good thing. You should definitely at least know the very basics of a language in a country that you're living in for 10 years. If I move to Spain, and I live in Spain for 10 years, and I want the passport, I feel like I'm entitled to that passport, and I don't speak a word of Spanish, I don't even know how that's good. It's pretty hard to live in Spain and not know a single word of Spanish for 10 years. That to me is insane. So they do have language requirements there. Now, the language requirements aren't monumentally strict. You just have to pass 2 tests. You have to be at an A2 level in general, and you have to pass the Spanish language exam when you are applying for your citizenship. So it certainly isn't difficult. You know, they're not asking you to write a full-blown dissertation in the Spanish language or anything. You have to be at an A2 level, pass an exam at a similar level to that, and then you're all good. That is very easy. Frankly, you could do that without even living in a Spanish-speaking country, yet alone living in the original Spanish-speaking country, living in Spain for 10 years. That's a decade. A decade's a long time. So being able to know A2 level of Spanish after 10 years of living in a Spanish country is definitely not impossible. In fact, it's almost impossible for that not to happen. All in all, we could see that the Spanish passport as well is a very strong travel document, right? It's a European Union passport. There's not one European Union passport that's hot garbage. But in general, when I look at Spain as a country, is it worth visiting? Absolutely. The language is beautiful. Not too fond of their diets. Personally, doesn't really agree with my personal lifestyle. But the Spanish diet, one could say, is good. The lifestyle is good. It's laid back. I'm not too fond of the overly laid back lifestyle. That is a bit of an issue with the siestas that apparently do happen all over the place. But, you know, you don't have to take part in that. For me personally, when I look at Spain and when I look at other countries in the Mediterranean and in Southern Europe that also have the Mediterranean lifestyle, Spain is not the country that I'm personally attracted to in the sense of moving there as an expat. But it might work for your personal scenario. But for me personally, if I were to look at this and go, okay, would I want to move to Spain and get Spanish citizenship unless I fall in love with someone who's Spanish in the future? The answer to that would be, for now, no. There are much more other options out in Europe, especially, that to me are significantly more attractive, and maybe one day in the future I'll make a video about which countries I find to be the best in Southern Europe. Let me know what you think about the Spanish passport. Do you think it's a good option for your personal portfolio? Would you also look elsewhere? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Hopefully see you in the next one. And until next time, of course, eternal victory to the free people.